Hello, I'm Jim Wetherbe. I'm the founding editor of Entrepreneur Innovation Exchange, EIX.org. I'm also honored to be a Dick Schulze Distinguished Professor. I'm not particularly distinguished, but by being a professor of Dick Schulze that achieved that. And we're having a very exciting day today because we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of EIX.org, which is a publication we worked on 10 years ago. In fact, we did an interview just like this 10 years ago. Hard to believe.
Yeah.
It's been
that long. I agree. But I won't forget it because we were talking a whole lot about, what it takes to build a company.
Yes.
Obviously, and the individual independence that one exhibits, when you're plowing new ground, when you're working, on new models, rewriting rules, changing the rules of the game. So we talked a lot about what that all was.
Yeah, EIX was changing the rules. It was a social media-based journal, and everyone said print journals are what you have to be in order to be prestigious.
Yeah, for sure.
But, fortunately, you were used to innovation. I had the honor of being on the board of Best Buy and had a front row seat to watching the energy, the passion,
perseverance, the persistence.
I've got to tell you, watching you as a philanthropist, I think you work harder at giving your money away, or at least as hard as you did.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
It's fun to watch that. So we just kind of want to spend a little time. We'll actually start off talking a little bit about EIX.
Okay.
Just reflect on what that's meant. We did hit, in the early days, we were scratching 2,000 a month. And I remember Dick saying, I don't know what the volume should be on this, but 2,000.
It doesn't seem like a big number. Yeah.
We achieved 12 million this year, which means, I know you wanted to have impact, 12 million people looking for information to help them in their entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, to become more successful.
They came to EIX.
Yeah.
And I know one of the goals was too many people fail. You wanted to help them succeed.
For sure.
And so they're coming there. So that's just been a phenomenal achievement.
Well, thank you.
Knowing you, I know 12 million sounds good, but I'm going to be hearing 12 billion from you before long.
Well, it's a great number, and of course, I didn't understand what it was all going to take to make that happen at the very beginning. But I know you are confident that assembling the appropriate content, getting the right people to share their success stories, would be a motivation, for so many people that were trying to figure out, well, how do I do this better? How do I go from point A to get to point B? And it's an inspiration, clearly, when you can listen to people that share their success stories, sort of like we did in the very first interview that we had, and the countless numbers that you brought, obviously, to the entire EIX organization, is a tribute, certainly, to the people that you've come to know in your career, and have had the same, I guess, if you will, inspiration to talk to you about sharing their stories. So EIX is really all about quality content delivered by people who really care about helping one another. And even though the industries could be different, the businesses are different, the demographics are different, the timing is different, the objectives are different, so many of the fundamentals, really continue to be a big part of how businesses can adapt, they can change, they can grow, they can diversify. And I think that's especially true, when you talk about family business.
Yes. Which was a nice sister spinoff. Actually, in the 12 million, that includes familybusiness.org.
Of course.
And so they're very complementary, but it allowed us to address a particular niche that needed a little different type of information, and then larger corporations had grown into. Started off small, but got big. So the nice part is today, both EIX is the number one source of online or non-online material, as far as that goes, vetted, because we do vet all the material with top referees. And the same is true for family business, the number one resource that people can go to for quality material that they know is reliable.
Yeah, we're so extraordinarily proud because this is such a boon, if you will, because especially because people can access it at their fingertips anytime they want to look at, talk to, or talk about, ways in which they can think through business issues or opportunities. And this was, obviously your baby from the very beginning, and I'm eternally grateful, that we've been able to bring it as far as it is, and have impacted so many people in so many ways all the time in how they can build and grow their businesses to be more successful.
It's been quite a ride. And a nice spinoff from now Z-Fest that has on the scene. And would you like to talk a little bit about what that's meant to you?
Well, E-Fest is to me, it's a celebration, of the tens of thousands of entrepreneurs that are spread across this great country, to be able to access some of the best, all together in one space that can share how they put together their company. What was their objective? What did it take to get from the humble beginnings to where they now actually are building products? They're actually courting customers. They're actually delivering on expectation. And so it's fun when you can, in our case, narrow down from this year 150 applications across the country down to 25 of certainly high-profile, extraordinarily well-managed young people that are putting together successful businesses. And so we get a chance to showcase them right here this weekend.
Yeah.
And
we're celebrating the 10th anniversary at E-Fest this weekend.
All at the same time.
Big time.
Yeah, it is. So we've had colleges and universities from around the country participate. That's been a real source of pride for me, because obviously our school is striving to become the best of the best in the world of entrepreneurship. And certainly we're going in the right direction by virtue of our being able to do that. And EIX has been a centerpiece, if you will, of the qualitative aspect of how serious we are about bringing, real success stories to entrepreneurs that can learn from and grow into and from other businesses that have succeeded.
Well, E-Fest is just phenomenal. Like these kids, undergraduates, get an all-expense-paid trip, and they're competing for $250,000 for supporting their ventures. It's just an incredible thing that you're able to do for young entrepreneurs.
Yeah, thank you.
I know one of your goals was if there's more entrepreneurs that succeed, that creates more jobs for more people. And so in a very large sense, you're making a huge difference.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. And obviously I feel that way personally. And I also think that it's realistic to believe that many of the entrepreneurs that are certainly conceptualizing, their own place in the business world, or in the world of philanthropy, or in so many different areas of opportunity, that adding the value of the energy and the efforts that they possess, the inspiration to think through and add value in so many places is a real positive. And so actually sharing much of what they learn in the world of entrepreneurship, even with large corporations in an entrepreneurial fashion, makes just great sense for companies to want people clearly on their payrolls that are bright, hardworking, inspirational, enthusiastic, digging deeply into areas of opportunity within major corporations. So whether that's a long-standing tenure or whether that's maybe a short start in their business life, it's a great learning for obviously each and every one of them, as well as the companies that they're working with. So it's a huge plus, and I credit the ability from the very beginning of what EIX brings, if you will, to people's ability to learn more, to seek out new information, obviously to gain inspiration, from others who have that wonderful success stories to share. So 12 million people, not a small number, and up from 2,000. So it's gotten done, and it's gotten done clearly on the backs of and in the minds of people that, are putting together just wonderful quality offerings, online.
It's a wonderful time to celebrate EIX and our 10th anniversary. And Dick, thank you for your sponsorship. Yeah. Thank you for believing in the idea and supporting it all these years so we could get enough inventory on the shelves, using Best Buy terms, that we could really get the traffic. And so hope you enjoyed the wisdom that we all garner from Dick Schulze. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jim. And thank you for the inspiration, my friend.
All right.